Hey guys, it's Ellie from ELSA'S Wholesome Life. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be cooking a brand new recipe and it is a barbecue jackfruit pizza. It's very delicious and I'm excited to share this recipe with you guys. It's one that Alex and I have made a few times and he's going to be jumping in here and helping me make it. And you guys are absolutely going to love this brand new recipe. So stay tuned and keep watching for today's recipe. So today we're cooking a barbecue jackfruit pizza and we're going to be splitting this recipe up into two parts. In the first part we're going to show you how we make our homemade pizza dough, and then in the second part will be all the toppings and cooking the actual pizza. So if you guys have your own pizza based recipe or you're just using a store-bought, then you can skip to the second part of this video. This recipe makes 6 pizza bases, so if you are only cooking for 2 of you, you can freeze the additional dough for future pizza nights. So starting off, we're going to sieve in 1 kilo of plain all-purpose flour straight onto a clean surface. Sieve 1 teaspoon of salt into the flour. Now using your finger, you're going to make a well in the center of your flour. Keep working this around so that you have about a 10 centimeter gap. Now into a bowl, you're going to add 1 sachet of dry yeast. Add 1 tablespoon of sugar along with 4 tablespoons of olive oil, and finally pour in 650 ml of warm water. Stir it together and then allow it to rest on the bench and activate. Now the next part can be a little bit tricky, so carefully pour the contents of the bowl into the well of your flour. Using a fork, work your way around the edge, carefully dragging in bits of flour and working it into the wet mixture until it forms a dough. However, it doesn't always go to plan, and ours was definitely a big mess. Don't let that get you down because it'll still work out. Just scrape it all into the dough and start to knead it all together on your surface. Knead the dough on your bench, picking up all the leftover flour, and continue kneading until it forms a soft, stretchy dough. Once you've finished kneading your dough and it's soft and smooth, you can transfer it to a lightly dusted mixing bowl and then cover it with a damp cloth. Set your dough aside to rest for about 60 minutes. It should approximately double in size. After an hour has passed and your dough has doubled in size, turn it out onto a lightly floured surface and begin to knead all the air out. Roll your dough up into a ball and then begin to roll it out into a cylinder. Now slice your dough into 6 evenly sized pieces and roll each one into a ball. Ensuring your surface is still lightly floured and using a dusted rolling pin, you're now going to roll out each dough into a pizza shape. You're going to roll each dough out into a circle about 3 millimeters thick. You may transfer your pizza bases onto baking paper and stack them on top of each other so that they don't stick. Your dough should be thin, soft, and stretchy. If you're not making 6 serves, you can reserve the leftover dough by rolling it into balls, cling wrapping it, and storing it in the freezer. Okay, so moving on to the second part of this video, I'm going to show you guys how to make the delicious barbecue jackfruit pizza topping. So starting off, I have 1 can of young jackfruit, which I've already pre-drained and rinsed. Place that jackfruit into a bowl and then using scissors, I'm just chopping it up roughly. As I'm breaking it apart with my fingers, it starts to appear like pulled pork. Next, I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of oil, 1/3 cup of smoky barbecue sauce, 1 tablespoon of coconut aminos or soy sauce, a tablespoon of tomato paste, and finally 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Stir everything through the jackfruit and then place it in the fridge to marinate for 20 to 30 minutes. Moving on, I've got 2 large potatoes which I'm going to slice up into thin slices. Transfer them into a bowl, preferably one larger than the one I am using, and pour over 1 tablespoon of oil along with 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a handful of fresh rosemary. Toss and massage the oil across the potatoes. And then onto a lined baking tray, I'm going to place the potatoes evenly spaced apart. They may slightly overlap. Continue filling up both trays with all of your potato slices. Place them into the oven to bake for approximately 15 to 20 minutes or until golden and crispy. Meanwhile, finely slice up 1 red onion and place a pan over medium to high heat. Pour in some cooking oil, and once hot, add your onions to the pan. Using some tongs, start to break up the onion rings and stir constantly. Saute those onions for about 4 to 5 minutes or until soft all over, then transfer in your jackfruit mix. Fold the jackfruit through the onions and saute for a further 1 to 2 minutes. Now you're ready to construct your pizza. So for each pizza base, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 tablespoon of the smoky barbecue sauce, as well as 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Spread out your sauce evenly and then sprinkle a large handful of non-dairy cheese. The cheese that I'm using today is a brand called BioCheese. Spoon on some of that barbecue jackfruit as well as 4 to 5 halved cherry tomatoes. Next, we're going to place over some of those crispy potatoes as well as some extra rosemary. And if you like it saucy, drizzle a little bit more of that barbecue sauce. Place your pizza in the oven to bake for about 15 to 20 minutes. If the edges become golden and the cheese is melted, your pizza is ready to devour. So slice your pizza up into quarters and serve immediately. Well guys, that is my barbecue jackfruit pizza. I hope you have enjoyed following along. It is such a yummy pizza. Not the most wholesome, but I promise you, it is so delicious and perfect for a weekend treat to cook at home. And if you do make it at home, let me know what you think. Girls, if you have a boyfriend who simply can't have a pizza without all that meaty, cheesy, saucy goodness, then make this one for your next date night because I promise it'll be a new winner in your house.